This demonstration will cover the host IO limits feature for creating an absolute shared limit policy. All right, let's take a look at the absolute limit. We're going to this time use an absolute limit, only going to share that limit. So we're going to set that up. I have an absolute limit here already set up, so I'm going to go ahead and use the wizard. I'm calling this an absolute shared limit, and I need to make sure that shared box is checked. And I'll use the same IOPs, and I'll set that around 900. And what this means is that both these resources will have a ceiling of 900 IOPs. So the policy itself, once the LUNs are put under that policy, should have a ceiling of a maximum number of IOPs at 900. So I'll go ahead and select my storage resources to associate with the limit. And in this case, I'm going to select both the absolute LUN and the absolute LUN 1. So those are the two resources I want. I'll click next to that. I'm not going to use snapshots. So I have the name, I have the max ceiling, and I have the shared, whether or not it is shared, and the resources here. So I'm going to finish that up. And it completes 100%. And I see my shared limit here. It's absolute. My max IOs are 900. It's inactive, and it has two resources under it, and it is shared. So now let's take a look at how this one works. So I go to the storage block, and I want to click on one of the LUNs. Now you don't have to select both of them. You can select one, and both of them will show up as on the chart. So all I'm going to do is double click here on absolute LUN, and there's my LUN properties for that, and I'll go to host IO limit. So again, I see some old data here. This is around, I don't know, 1440 or so. So I'm going to go and refresh this. I'm going to go to real time and see what, let it go through its collection process again. And then we'll take a look at our thresholds. So you can see the difference in the legend when you are doing a shared policy. You're going to have the absolute LUN. Remember, that's the LUN I selected from the resource options. Had I selected absolute LUN 1, that would have showed here in blue and with the name of the LUN. So it's the LUN you select here, even though all members are really both LUNs. That's really telling you all members of under the policy participate in this limit. So here you can see the current limit. Well, the current limit I set was 900. And you can see the current line here. I can move it over pretty steady. We have a limit of 900, and all members are really under that limit. You can see it started, was a little higher momentarily, but it comes on over here and is sort of being throttled down here to about 894. So let me see, I put the current limit at 900, but all members are only doing 893. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how to change this policy while we're on the fly. So let's go back here. Let's look at the policy itself. And all I did is go back to the performance prompt, and I'm going to go to IO limits. Because even though it was right at the limit, it didn't look like the both LUNs were actually pushing that too much. It was close, but it wasn't up to the 900. So let's go to IO limits again. And the nice thing about IO limits is you're going to see here is I'm going to go ahead and select this, and I can change the policy on the fly. So on this shared limit where I have 900, let's go ahead and select that with the check mark and edit it with the pencil. And since I'm doing, I don't know, 894 on both ones, let's put this down to 800, 850 like we did the previous one. So now I'm going to do a little less. So I should see a bit of a change, and let's see if it picks it up. So we'll apply the change. I'm still doing IO. IO is still going on to the resources, to the LUNs. Let's take a look at the difference. So let's again go to block, and we'll take a look at the LUN. This time, just to show you the difference as well and how the LUNs show up, I'll select the second one here. And I'll go to my host IO limits. And I'll go ahead and look at the real time. So again, we'll collect the uh, data. And the first thing to note then would be the absolute LUN 1. You see that one shows up as the blue LUN. The other one is all members of that LUN. For some reason that doesn't look like it's showing up. That looks to me like it's all one LUN there, so we'll have to take a look at that. So this looks a little better. The IO actually stopped to that LUN, so I just restarted. So again, all members. That's my second LUN, and then this LUN, of course, would be the absolute LUN. So my ceiling is the same. It's 850. I put an IO limit on 850. The absolute LUN is doing around 431. All members are doing around 863. So I should this over time. Once this catches up and refreshes, it should come down and throttle that. And I'll just refresh that and see what we have. So you can see after a few minutes here, we started up here and we started throttling this down, and right around here we're coming down to where it starts to throttle 854. So again, it takes a little while to throttle that IO, and so we're going to try to get that right above our limit, and that's the function of the IO limit there. So that should happen after a few minutes of implementing the policy. And down here, again, if I just want to look at what this absolute LUN 1 is doing, I can click on him and see all members, for example. If I just want to see that, I'll click on both the absolute LUN. I can click on him, and again, all members. So it depends what you want to view and how you want to view the chart. And so there's about 850. So we finally got down there, and that took a couple minutes to do so. So we throttled down. We made the ceiling about 850 for both LUNs, and those shared resources are now throttled down, and that LUN is those resources are being throttled. So that is the absolute shared limit, where more than one resource is being participating in the policy, and the ceiling is still an absolute limit for the number of IOPs or the number of bandwidths. So let's close this out and end the demonstration for absolute shared limits.